Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I decided that I am going to build a house inspired by the Y2k aesthetic. So I basically just wanted to build a family home that is a Y2k aesthetic. So what is that? It's more so in like the girly pop Y2k aesthetic, less than like the cyberpunk sort of Y2k aesthetic. I really enjoyed building this. I kind of was like taking reference to like my favorite rom-coms, my favorite TV shows from growing up. You know, growing up in the 2000s was an iconic era. And you know, just like the pop culture that's come out of it has really stayed with me throughout my life. I have literally a wall of posters behind my bed that has like That's So Raven, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, and Lindsay Lohan on their iconic night out when there's like the paparazzi shots of them in the car. I have 13 Going on 30 on my wall, Legally Blonde. Like, this is my era. I truly live and breathe in a Y2K aesthetic, and I live for it. I think it's so fun, and just like the bright colors. My favorite part about it is just like the color and the whimsy. I think it really encapsulates like what it felt like growing up in that time. You know, for me, I really enjoyed growing up in that era and just like all the color, and I really just wanted to build a house that kind of encapsulates that. So you'll see here, I kind of have the basic shell of the home. It's a bit odd. I have like a little balcony with the roof kind of going around it. I just wanted to try something different here for a shell for myself. One thing about me is that I'm trying really hard to get better at making shells. I kind of suck at making shells, I'll be honest. Sometimes they're too big, sometimes they're really weird. That to me proposes like a new challenge of like, okay, like now I have to make it work. So that is something that I find super fun, and it does challenge me, and I think that, you know, I'm only going to get better at it. So I'm going to continue, you know, kind of creating these like wonky shells that really make no sense, but you know, it is what it is. So now I'm placing in some windows. For this house specifically, I really tried to bridge my two favorite aesthetics, which is mid-century modern and, you know, 2000s core. So I really decided to lean into both of those. My dream home is honestly to have the perfect marriage between the two. I just love the bright colors and the butterflies. I literally have butterflies all over my wall. So I really want to like bridge that gap of the two aesthetics. Like, I love mid-century modern furniture, but I love Y2K decor. So I think finding a good balance between the two was what I was trying to do here. And it definitely leans a bit more Y2K than it does mid-century, but there are certain pieces, you know, that fit the aesthetic. Now we basically are just putting in all the windows. I have all of the outdoor paint on. I went with this like bright blue brick, which was very controversial in my head. I was like, this is kind of ugly, but in a really cute way. So that's how I feel about most of the house. Like, some of it is a little ugly, it is a little tacky, but I think it turned out so cute, and I really, really enjoy this house, and I honestly want to play in it. Like, I usually don't play in the houses that I build in because I love personalizing them. I love when I'm playing with a family and I can personalize their space. So when I build these homes, they're more like generic and not really like cluttered to a specific sim, but I think I really want to play in this house. I want to take it on in one of my like legacies. And I think it would just be so fun and cute to play in here and really just live in this aesthetic for a hot minute, at least with like one generation, you know? But yeah, so now we are working on the living room, and this living room is one of my favorite things I've ever done. This rug from the Pastel Pop Kit, it's a lot of high school years, a lot of the Pastel Pop Kit. I even used the new TV from the Party Essentials kit. So I really loved marrying all of these packs together and bringing in a new aesthetic. The main wallpaper of the home is very loud, but you know, you might be able to tell a little bit from my personality behind me. I am a loud person. So it was perfect in my eyes. I love the gradient effect. It felt very Y2K to me. So I thought it was just, you know what, this is it. We're going balls to the wall. Like, we are holding nothing back. And speaking of holding nothing back, I even put a flower as the rug under the dining table. I really just wanted to lean into that bright aesthetic and the bright colors. A lot of my inspiration for this house honestly came from, you know, Disney Channel shows growing up. So like That's So Raven's room was always one that was like, that is my dream room. Hannah Montana, of course. Like, I wanted that closet. I still want that closet. That closet is iconic, and I wish that is like my ultimate life's dream, is to have that closet. So I really tried to take inspiration from those TV shows and kind of bring it to life. Like, a lot of those shows like really helped raise me in a way. Like, I feel like I've taken bits and pieces of my personality from each of these shows, like a little bit of Hannah, a little bit of Alex Russo, a little bit of Raven. Like, I really just let these women have like a huge impression on me as a kid. And that's why I grew up into who I am today. Like, they are the reason why I am the way I am. So thank you to them. But yeah, I truly just like the 2000s era just brings me so much joy. You know, the music was incredible. The TV shows were incredible. And I just remember so much pop culture happening, and it was iconic pop culture. And I feel like that's something that like we're lacking almost a little bit, where it's like we saw a shift in like the 2010s where artists were more, let's be more authentic and raw. Whereas back in the 2000s, we had, you know, artists like Heidi Montag putting out an album, and she was like this like reality TV star and was like, you know what, I just want to make music. And I think that's why I love Addison Rae so much right now, is because she's like, I just want to make music and be fun and cute on TikTok. And a lot of my friends make fun of me for that, but Addison Rae is like, all of her songs were in my top 100 last year. I just love that, like, I don't know, that like influencer vibe where they are just like, they can do whatever they want and they are just making music. And I just love that. For me, you know, bringing, you know, like a 2000s Y2K aesthetic into my adulthood, it just like makes me relive that time of like growing up, getting home, watching Disney Channel, watching Clueless, watching 13 Going on 30, like watching these iconic things that I grew up watching. And I love it so much. So we're getting a little bit farther into the build now. And again, like a lot of color. A lot of high school years actually really helped me here. So I felt like a lot of high school years really fits this aesthetic. And you'll see here, I'm actually using from the Party Essentials kit, the new record player. And I did this kind of star wall with the neon sign from high school years. And I loved that wall. If I could have that in real life, I would. Like, that to me was so cute. And I love that aesthetic. I'm a star girly. I have butterflies everywhere. Like, that is my aesthetic through and through. So yeah, I'm just like still getting a bunch of pieces for downstairs. So in my vision, the person that lives in this house, or at least one of the parents, is like a music producer. I don't know what it was, but I had this obsession with music producers in the 2000s. I think it was because of Jackal Johnson from Cheetah Girls. I love that man, and his aesthetic is my everything. Like, lately, every time I go out, I'm like, guys, is this outfit not giving Jackal Johnson? And 99% of the time it is. So I live and breathe it. But now I'm doing something a little funky, which might be controversial, but I'm trying to make the table from Hannah Montana. So I don't know if you guys remember, but this table has sat with me my entire life. It has like the colorful legs, like a mannequin's legs, and it's like a blue top table that just sits in their kitchen. So I took one of the child mannequins from the game and I raised up like the cake pedestal from the new kit, and I like cluttered it up a little bit to make it look like it was the table from the Hannah Montana kitchen. Oh my god, it's so stupid looking back on it now, but I'm gonna like dress the mannequin in like colorful pants, so hopefully it looks more similar to the actual table from the show. But that was something I needed to add, okay? Because that table is something that I've always wanted, and I still want to this day. Like, when I'm an adult, I am an adult. But when I'm like an adult and I have like a home, I need that. I need that table, and I will get it made because it's iconic and it's so cute. So yeah, now we're just like really getting the final touches downstairs, really just cluttering up the place. I gave them a hamster. I don't know why this is like a weird niche thing and probably makes no sense to anyone, but like hamsters to me read very 2000s culture. Like, I don't know what it is, but everyone I feel like had a hamster at some point in the 2000s. There was like this like weird wave of people getting hamsters. So I put that in here because I don't know. I just felt like that fit the vibe. But yeah, so now we're moving upstairs, and actually the floor plan came out really fast. Like, it was a really quick floor plan for me. It usually takes me like a hot minute to get it, but this one was easy. There's like a little seating area upstairs. There's 3 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, and I love the way that it turned out. I think it's so fun. And this was me actually changing the flooring. I sent a picture to my friends of the house, and they were like, love, but the floors are way too dark. And so I took a step back and I came back and I was like, oof, you're right. It's terrible. So I went back, I changed the floors to a lighter color, and it ends up looking amazing. I think it fits the vibe better, because everything is so bright and everything is so colorful and fun. So it honestly just made more sense to have the lighter flooring here. So now I'm just cluttering up the kitchen. The problem with me building and like recording it, I've noticed, I never noticed this when I would play just to play. But now that I record it, I'm like, why do I jump around so much? Like, I was just working on upstairs, like working on a bathroom, and then I was like, ooh, wait, kitchen. I really don't know what it is about the way that I play and the way I build, but I literally am like, I just like jump everywhere. I like never can sit still in like one space for too long. And like now you'll see here, like I'm removing the music producer setup, and I'm putting in like a little tiny like seating area, which, first of all, these chairs and this table combo, iconic, and I love it so much. I think this is like the perfect encapsulation of what Y2K is. So now I'm getting in like a tiny little bathroom downstairs, like a little powder room. I realized that I didn't have one downstairs when I was making the bathrooms upstairs, and I was like, wait a second, they need an extra toilet, because if there was like 4 or 5 Sims living here, you always need the extra toilet. Like, hands down, like you're always going to need it. So I decided to add a little 3-tile bathroom here. I love these little 3-tile bathrooms because they're so practical and they take up little to no room. Yeah, so I kept the gradient wallpaper moving upstairs, and then each of the bedrooms got a different wallpaper. I wanted to give each room its own aesthetic. So like I said, like this house isn't necessarily built for a specific family in mind, but you can kind of move in right away with like 2 teenagers. So I built this house for 2 parents, a teenager, and a child. And I really felt like I tried to give as much personality to each room as possible. I feel like one of the parents is obviously a music producer, why they have the equipment and the microphone and, you know, all of the musical instruments in the house. And I love these bathrooms, the blue and the green, and this Moschino stuff pack came in handy in this house. I used it actually a lot now that I'm looking at it. I love this mirror. I think this mirror is so camp. It's so fun. And if I could have that actual mirror in my life, oh my God, I would die a happy man. So I went with some pink accents in that bathroom. I just felt like, I don't know, like blue and pink to me is such a cute color scheme. Honestly, you can make anything a color scheme if you really put your mind to it. That's my philosophy. But I'm also like, let me look like a rainbow threw up all over the place and we're good to go. So I'm moving on into the first bedroom of the house, which is for the teenager. And I used this Party Essentials kit really came in clutch. Like, I think I used the entire pack because I literally put a disco ball upstairs. Like, this pack was so perfect. It fit the vibes perfectly. And a lot of the pastel pop kit, obviously. For this room, I went with, it's an ugly bed. I'm gonna be honest, it's an ugly bed. But I think it fits the Y2K aesthetic so perfectly. It reminds me of Snooki, circa 2009, back when she was like getting onto Jersey Shore and she was doing like her welcome scene, and just like a lot of her outfits were a lot of this like cheetah print. So I tried to channel a little bit of Snooki in here and really bring her vibe to the table, because that was another show that like I grew up sneakily watching Jersey Shore. I like wasn't allowed like at all. My parents were like, absolutely fucking not. I think I was like 10 when the show first debuted. So to my parents, that was a huge no-no, because they were just like going clubbing and they were just like these like 20 something people. I think they were like 30 low-key, but my parents were like, absolutely not, you are not watching this show. So for my 13th birthday, I told my parents, they were like, what do you want to do? And I straight up told them that my wish was to go to Seaside Heights at the Jersey Shore and go to the t-shirt shop and see Club Karma, which I was 13. And I was like, Mom, like, I really want to go to Club Karma. And she was like, you can't. And I was like, well, why not? And she was like, it's a nightclub. Like, you can't get in there. And I was like, I like literally wasn't even fathoming in my brain. But I did get to see the Jersey Shore house. I went to the Shore store. I got some shirts. And that was like the perfect 13th birthday. Going back to the room a little bit, it's kind of ugly, I'll be honest, but in a cute way, I think. I layered a bunch of these rugs together. I really just wanted a shit ton of color. I wanted it to look like a rainbow threw up in here. And I feel like it encapsulates the vibe of the 2000s perfectly. And every color in here really matches with that rainbow wallpaper. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for this one because I really love this room. If I had this bedroom, I would eat it up every day. The 2000s was, honest to God, it's literally my entire personality. So honestly, like, my favorite movies of all time are all from the 2000s. Like, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Ratatouille. Ratatouille is one of my favorite movies of all time. Honestly, if not my favorite movie of all time, and I stand by that statement. The Hannah Montana movie, you know, Legally Blonde, 13 Going on 30, Mean Girls, High School Musicals, like, those are, if I'm putting on a movie, it's one of those. Like, I'm so invested in the culture of the 2000s that, like, I literally don't think about anything else. It's all I watch. It's all I think about. If I'm, like, having a bad day, I'll put on, like, Hannah Montana to make me feel better. It's just, like, it's the ultimate feel-good vibe. And all of those, like, sort of, like, rom-com movies and comedy movies from the 2000s always eat. They always eat. Like, there's no getting around it. Going into the second bedroom, though, I went with more of, like, a sports aesthetic. I really love this bed from high school years, so I used a lot of, like, a darker tone than the other room. I felt like it needed it, so to kind of balance each other out. So for this room, there's a lot more blacks, there's greens, oranges, whereas the other one's a lot of, like, purples and pinks and blues. So I love the contrast between the two rooms here. And surprisingly enough, like, The Sims actually has some pretty cool 2000s looking things, like computers and radios. I think it's because it was released in 2014, so they were obviously working on it towards the end of the 2000s. So some of those items made it in. But I live by it. I would love a whole 2000s pack. Like, I would literally be the first in line for it. I wouldn't give a shit. Like, I would drop any amount of money for that because I would eat it up. I would literally eat it up. So I started actually playing The Sims in the 2000s. So playing The Sims 3 was like my everything. I loved that game so much. And I remember every day coming home from school and I would sit my ass at the computer and play for hours. I couldn't be stopped. And one of my favorite things to do was to add in my own music. So I would always add in, like, random songs. Like, there was Taylor Swift in there was Ariana Grande. Like, I started doing it more towards, like, the end of The Sims 3 life. And so one of my favorite things that I have right now is this one playlist that I make. It's called I Am the Main Character. And it's basically a 2000s rom-com in a playlist. I've taken every single song from every 2000s movie that I love and I've put it in there. And the playlist goes in order, so you have to listen to it from track 1 to track, like, 230 or whatever it is. And I literally put together a playlist going through, like, a storyline, basically. So every song kind of fits into, like, a category. And so it starts off and it's like the opening scene, and it's basically like any song I would love to play in an opening scene about my life. So it starts off with, like, Just a Girl, No Doubt, or, like, I don't even, like, Paper Planes, MIA. Like, I had such an obsession with that song in 5th grade for whatever reason it was. Honestly, 2008 was a wild time. So Paper Planes was my #1 song. Ratatouille was my favorite movie. Hannah Montana was my favorite show. And no one could tell me anything else. Like, and honestly, besides the song, they still hold up to this day. Like, that is my favorite show and that is my favorite movie. So I really haven't changed that much since 5th grade. So that tells you a little bit about me. But I love this playlist, and I listen to it literally daily to feel like I'm living in a 2000s movie. Like, if I could go back in time and just like relive the 2000s at this age, oh my God, I would love it. I would eat it up, and I would love going to the clubs. I feel like the club music in the 2000s was so much better than what it is now. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a club rat. I love it. But I feel like the 2000s, it just hit different. Like, you had Nelly Furtado playing constantly, and not in like a nostalgia way. Like, she was just what was hot, you know? So that's why I decided to put a lot of musical items into here, because I feel like a huge part of the 2000s culture was the music. Like, it was so iconic, and at least for me personally, like, that is one of the biggest things about the 2000s for me. But yeah, so that's why I made one of the Sims kind of like a music producer sort of vibe, because I just feel like music is the biggest part of the 2000s for me, and it makes me feel like I'm living in a coming of age rom-com from the 2000s, aka like a Princess Diaries vibe. But now I'm just going in, adding in some last minute clutter throughout the house, doing some curtains and stuff like that, because it definitely needed it. Kind of just trying to like warm up the space and make it feel a bit more lived in. And of course using from the Kid Stuff pack, these butterflies, because I'm not joking, if I could use these butterflies in every single build, I would. They are probably my favorite thing to ever exist in the game, and I need more stuff like that. That is a little bit about me and why I love the Y2K sort of vibe. I just, obviously growing up in that era has had such a lasting impact on me, and I think nothing will ever touch, you know, the movies that came from that time, the TV shows, the music. Like, it just felt so cinematic, you know? And listening to this playlist, which I actually am going to link down below for you guys to listen to, it's my most prized possession, and I update it literally weekly. I'm constantly fiddling with it and making it better, and you know, adding in some things. And it's not all 2000s music, and there is some new stuff in there too that just feels like it's from a 2000s movie. Now I am working on the back deck upstairs. So in the one teen's room, there's a patio off of the back, and I again am using the butterflies because, like I said, I can't get enough of it. And I put out this from the little campers kit, I put out the like strung up fake screen. I just felt like that was so cute. And imagine like your friends come over and you're like, oh, let's go watch a movie outside. I think that I personally would love that. Like, that is like a dream of mine, is to like have like an outdoor screen that we can all just like sit down and watch movies at. So now I am beginning to work on the back deck and the backyard. I kept it a little more simple in the backyard. I really just like didn't want to overdo it a little bit, but I had to use this martini lamp. I think it's so cute personally, and I need to start using it in my builds more because I think it is one of the cutest things ever. I just typically don't put bars in my builds because the Sims are very annoying and very stupid, and they will sit and bartend for like 5 hours, and all their needs will be going down, and they just don't care. They're like, I need to mix this drink. So it starts to get a little bit annoying after a while, so I typically don't put them in there. But yeah, now I'm using the Party Essentials kit again because I love these streamers. This kit, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of kits. They're not like I would love to have more of them, but this kit actually is so cute to me. I think it brought something to the game that it was kind of lacking a little bit. Like, yes, it's a lot of basics, but we really don't have a lot of like basics party stuff. We have like the luxury party, which sucked. That pack was absolutely god-awful atrocious. That's something that we were really lacking from the game. So I'm very happy that they added it in. Now I am just working on some last minute touches outside, getting some doormats and some potted plants and stuff like that. I even used the little butterfly from, I think it's Backyard Stuff, I was like, this has to go in here. I really love how this house turned out. It's honestly one of my favorites, and I'm definitely gonna have to play in here and make like a cute little family to live in my 2000s dream home. So I'm very excited to bring it to life. And now we are doing some landscaping. The landscaping I kept a bit basic. My landscaping skills aren't the greatest, and I typically do the same thing over and over again. But I added in some pink plants and a bunch of these like banana leaf sort of bushes, and obviously the low-lying. Those low-lying plants are my Lord and Savior. I love those things, and thank God The Sims put them in the game, because I use them in every build. It just makes it look more realistic to me. I don't know. And now I'm adding in a cute little splash pad, and I gave them a hot tub, which the hot tub spot is my favorite part of the backyard. I basically made it look like it was built in surrounding rocks. So this hot tub actually came with Furen, and it looks more realistic. So it has like a rock formation texture. And so I added in a bunch of these plants, and I made it look like a lush backyard. I felt like that was something that was super popular back in the 2000s. Like when people built their pools and stuff, they always had these like gigantic rock formations. And honestly, maybe I'm just thinking of High School Musical 2 when they were at Lava Springs, but I don't know. I thought it looked really cute, and so I added it in, and I gave them a little pool, and now I'm just fencing in the backyard a little bit. The backyards, I will say, I have been getting better at. I used to really suck at backyards. But yeah, I really think that my backyards have definitely gotten a lot better, and I'm really proud of that, because it was something that I used to be super anxious about because I felt like I couldn't do it well. Yeah, now I'm just getting in some trees and some last minute touches in the backyard. I love this little like outdoor patio space that they have. Like the cobblestone felt very 2000s to me, because that's what I had in my backyard in the 2000s. I really had probably the most fun with this build I think I've had in a long time. I want to start doing more stuff like this, and maybe doing like color challenges. That's something that I would be super interested in, only because it's something that I feel like would challenge me a little bit more, is like matching different colors together. Because I feel like when I build homes, I do the same thing. It's always like a sage green and like some yellow or some light orange accents. So this was super fun to just like play around with color and really bring in a new sort of like vibe to my building. So I hope that you guys like it as much as I do, even though some of it can be kind of ugly. I was going for an aesthetic, so you can't say I didn't do that. But yeah, so now we're getting in some terrain paint, and I will now give you guys a tour of the build. So when you first walk up, you see the little stone path and our cute little butterfly. We have this cute little porch with a chess table, some garden pots, and then a little seating area. And I decided to use kind of like the fugly Sims fan on the ceiling. I don't know why. I just liked it for some reason in that moment. But yeah, so when you first walk in, you have a piano over here with a bunch of records on the wall. Like I said, that this house to me read as if like a music producer lived here. You have a little shoe spot over here, coat rack, and then a little seating area with some books. And then you come around this way, there's a little tiny powder room. So then you come over to the living room, which is very colorful and very wide open. I added a lot of like pinks and bright colors in here, the butterflies on the wall, and then my little fake Hannah Montana inspired table over in the corner. So stupid, but I needed to add it. It's one of my favorite things to ever exist. And then we have a tiny little dining table. Again, like I just really wanted it to read fun and very Y2K. So then next to that, we have our little record player area. And then over here, we have the kitchen. I love the color scheme, like the green and the pink and the yellow. I think it's so fun. It literally looks like a rainbow threw up in this house, which is why I put the rainbow butterflies over here next to the bar. And then you come into the office, and this room is a lot of more like pinks and purples. I really tried not to clutter it up too much because I kind of want to play in here and then add my own little personal touches. But I felt like this computer read very 2000s, and then there's a little digital camera, which was very 2000s. And yeah, they have a little hamster cage over here. And then when you go upstairs, this is the little like seating area up at the top of the steps. I love the way that this turned out. I think it looks so cute and just very fun. Like that's what I wanted to capture the essence of from Y2K culture, was the fun aspect of it. So then over here we have the first bathroom, simple bathroom. And then here is our one bedroom, which is so loud. Looking at it now, there's so much going on, but I think that makes it really fun. Like this room feels the most personal out of all of them for sure. I think I went in with the idea of like who was already living here. So I went balls to the wall with it and I said, you know what, we're going hard. So then you come out to their little like terrace area, and it's just like a movie hangout spot with a little easel, more butterflies. Can't get enough of those. And then you come into the next bedroom, and this one's more sports themed and a little bit more like darker color scheme mixed with some brighter like green and orange. I love the way that this turned out. I felt like this went to like a gamer almost. And then they have their own little private bath. So then this is the master bathroom. I love these mirrors. They are my favorite mirrors in the game. I think it's so fun. And this is the parents' bedroom. So they have their little music producer stand. This room is a lot of like green, orange, and blue, with a lot of neutrals as well. I put a games table in here so that way they can do some puzzles and stuff like that. Coming downstairs, we just have like a little grill and table area, and then some potted plants again with like, it's like the jeweled ones where you can like see on the side like all the jewels and stuff. And then we have the little bike and the bar area. So this is like the background to the bar area. I think it looks so cute, and I love that martini glass lamp. Yeah, and now we have our little pool and hot tub area. I love this spot so much. I think it turned out so cool, and I just love the way that it kind of looks like it's blending in a little bit. I wish they had the rocks the same color as the hot tub, but it's fine. I'm not going to be super picky about it. And then we have some lounge chairs and a basketball hoop, because basketball hoops read very 2000s to me. I don't know why, but they just do. And then a little splash pad. So that is the entire build. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button down below. And I will definitely be playing in this house, and who knows, I might be starting a new legacy challenge. We'll see what happens in the future, but I definitely want to play with this house a little bit more. I really love it, and it definitely reads a lot of my personality, so I'm very excited about it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.